Okay, so
Morning, everybody. The most common mistakes that we make are with refers to confusions regarding prepositions, confusions regarding words which take similar prepositions. I've uh, given you example. For example, can you translate this in Hindi? This is wrong sentence because translate will always take into. Can you translate this into Hindi? These type of mistakes are plenty. We make these kinds of mistakes so often, therefore we have to repeatedly practice them, repeatedly identify them and use them correctly. To and at, we often make these mistakes. He comes at college, he comes at school. Wrong sentences. He comes to college, he comes to this place or that place. Another mistake that we make is about two verses till. He walked till the end of the road. Wrong. He walked to the end of the road. He walked till so much of distance. Wrong. Till is not used here. To. He walked to the end of the road or he walked to this much of distance. Similarly, in and at. He has a flat at Jagatpura. Wrong sentence. He has a flat in Jagatpura or he has a flat in Jaipur. So, because sometimes we think that at is for a very narrow point, so let's use at. Small place, so we use at. No, that is not. We have to use in, because as we use these kinds of sentences every day, we will be able to find where do we make mistakes. I bought a book at 50 rupees. Wrong sentence. I bought a book for 50 rupees. We cannot use at here. Sometimes we have this confusion in our mind that why not use at for accurate thing. No, we have to use for. I bought a book for rupees 50, not at rupees 50, right? Then between and among. If there are only two objects, we use between. If there are multiple objects, we use among. He is the best cricketer between all players. Wrong sentence. He is the best cricketer among all players. So among is for very large number, but if you are comparing only two, then you can use between. Between Rahul and Narendra Modi, Modi ji seems to be better administrator. So the word is between because you are comparing two people only. So when you are comparing between two persons, use between. When you are comparing between a large number of people, use among. Then beside or besides. Beside is for additional. Besides is for so he was sitting besides me. Wrong sentence. He was sitting beside me. Beside me means near me. Beside me, right? Near me. So remember these small correct differences. Take care that you are able to make a lot of practices. You are able to identify the differences between similar words and use them very carefully. We most often make mistakes in the use of since and from. Okay. Since and from. He has been ill from last Friday. Wrong sentence. He has been ill from last Friday. Wrong sentence. You have to use the word since here. He has been ill since last Friday. These kinds of things, since so and so period, you have to use the word since, not from. I may go after 1 week. After is at the end of or beyond that. But if you want to say you will be going within 1 week, then don't say after. say in. I will be going in 1 week. The meaning of the two sentences is different. I will be going after 1 week. I will be going in 1 week. The meaning is different. After means, like today is 19th. After means after 25th. And if I say I'll be going within 1 week, it means I'll be going before 21st, 25th of this month. So remember, these words, when you use different preposition, the meaning also changes. Another confusion is with regard to from and for. Let's see a wrong sentence. He has been living here for 10 years. He has been living here for 10 years. It is correct sentence, no problem at all. But if I say he has been living here from 10 years, wrong sentence. Don't make this kind of mistakes. Then another mistake that people make is with regard by and with. With is used when an object is used as an additional object, then we use with, not by. He killed the dog by a stick. Wrong sentence. He killed the dog with a stick. With is used here as an instrument. So he killed the dog with a stick, not by a stick. So remember these uses, be very careful. Another sentence, look at this sentence. I have determined that I shall go. It's a wrong sentence. Although we use shall with I, but this is not appropriate usage. I have decided that I shall go. Wrong sentence. I have decided that I will go. If at all you have to use will. My mind is made up. He will go. Wrong sentence. My mind is made up. He shall go. Here we will use shall because will and shall, when you use them in an opposite context, they give different meaning. They give meaning of commitment, decision, right? I will go tomorrow. Instead of this, if you speak I shall go tomorrow, that will show determination, that will show positivity, that will show commitment. You will be going. I shall go tomorrow. So this is better other than saying I will go tomorrow. Okay. But if you are giving an order to somebody, you shall go tomorrow. It is a type of order, right? So this type of uses you have to try to apply. You will go out. Instead of this, you shall go out. This is a command, right? So the meaning is slightly different. So better you should be careful when you're using will, shall, given context, which one to use, how to use it, so that you will soon be able to identify through observation. What is the difference between say and tell? He told me. He said to me. With told me, there is no need of to. He told me. That's sufficient. He said to me. Here we will have to use the word to. He said to me. Right? Generally, we use told in case of past tense rather than saying said. So he said to me is also correct. He told me also correct. Then let's understand the difference between lie and lay. L-I-E, lie. L-A-Y, lay. Lie means, so lie has three form here. Lie, L-I-E, lie. Here, I am going to lie down. I am going to lie down, right? I am going to lie down means I'll be lied. I'll be sleeping, right? And another similar word is lay, L-A by lay, right? So I'm using another sentence of lay. Please lay out exam papers. Please lay out exam paper means please put the exam papers. Please lay out exam paper. So this is fine. Words will confuse you if you don't use them repeatedly. English is a language. If you are using it regularly, you'll find it fun. You'll find it very easy. And then you make a lot of exercises among yourself. Prepare a small group. In that group of students, you make a lot of exercises. You make a wrong sentence, give them a challenge to correct them. Similarly, you ask them to make wrong sentences and you correct those wrong sentences. These kind of exercises will help you in improving your English. I'll give you a few examples about how you can try to make these kinds of exercises in your informal group. The more exercises you make in an informal group, the more you will learn. Try to make a commitment among your group that, okay, we will try to speak only in English for 1 hour. We'll try to correct wrong sentences into correct, if there is incorrect sentence grammatically, we'll try to correct it. If there is some mistake in the use of English grammar, we will try to correct it. That kind of exercises you can make. I'll speak one sentence. Radha always puts on black shoes. Radha always puts on black shoes. Now this is wrong sentence because grammatically it is incorrect. You have to use right words, right grammar, right context. So Radha always puts on black shoes is wrong sentence. Instead of that, speak Radha always wears black shoes. Wears. Rather than saying put on, use the word wears. Grammatically, puts on is similar to wears, but they are different. Therefore, use the right word in right context. If you use some other words, then probably technically it may be exact word, but accurate word, but you may be found to be using wrong grammar because you are not able to remember the context. Context is very important. In which context, how people are relating such words, and over a period of time, the meaning will get changed or shifted to popular uses. Another sentence I speak out, I wear my clothes in morning. I wear my clothes in morning. Wrong sentence. I put on my clothes in morning. I put on my clothes in the morning. Now this is correct sentence. So while there the word put on was not proper, here wear is not proper. So I wear my clothes in morning is wrong use. Better to use I put on my clothes in the morning. Now it is correct. Then another is borrow and lend. Lend. Can you lend me a few rupees? Can you lend me a few rupees? And use of borrow. I want to borrow your money. I want to borrow your book. So borrow means to seek something. Lend means to give something. So will you lend me some rupees? Will you lend me your books? This is correct. Lend means to give somebody. Borrow means to ask somebody to give you some donation, something like that. Some money on temporary loan. So the words Another used two words are steal and rob. Steal. Use of steal is somebody has stolen my money. Somebody has stolen my bag. Somebody has stolen my purse. These are the uses of steal. But rob, steal is with the slightly hidden purpose. Rob is blatant and intimidating. So the writers came and robbed him of all his money. So that means writers came and took away all his money. This is the difference between the two words which are similar, steal and rob. There are many such uses where two words which are similar, and because they are similar, we get confused where to use which word. Another word is discovery and invention. Discovery and invention. They are similar, but they are not same. So what is the difference? You have to be very careful in using these words. America was invented by Columbus. Wrong sentence. We cannot use word invent here. America was discovered by Columbus. America was discovered. Another sentence is Thomas Edison discovered phone. Wrong sentence. Thomas Edison invented the phone. Invented, not discovered. Another two words are revenge and avenge. I will avenge myself. Wrong sentence. I will take revenge, or I will revenge myself. I'll take revenge. So the word avenge and revenge are similar, but you have to be very careful in using them. Convince and persuade. I am persuaded by his argument. Wrong sentence. I am convinced from his argument. I am convinced of his argument. Then it is correct. So convince and persuade, similar words, but be very careful in using them. Another two words are refuse and deny. Other two words are refuse and deny, right? He refused to take money. He refused to take money. That means he didn't take money. He told no when we were trying to give him money. This is refuse. But deny. He denied all police charges. This is fine. He refused that he had done it. He denied that he had done it. Instead of refuse, use the word deny. So you have to use them, similar words, similar context, you have to use them very carefully.